Hey everyone, this is Dr. Tom Carr, aka Dr. Stoxx. Welcome to another edition of Market Talks with Dr. Stoxx. We're going to do something a little different today. Normally we look at the S&P 500 or an index that it represents the broader market to determine technically where the market has been and where we see it going. But the fact is the market just keeps trickling up. And so there's not really much to say technically of the S&P chart at this point. I want to do something a little differently this time around. I want to show you how I scan, or one of the ways I scan for strongly trending stocks, stocks making breakout moves, stocks making sharp up moves on strong volume. This is a market where we are seeing a lot of amazing one-day moves, one-day pops in stocks on either earnings news or FDA approval news and so on. And we're seeing some amazing trends during the day, i.e. very strong uptrends that you can latch onto if you can get right at the open and ride it with a trailing stop and get out at the close. And we're also seeing some really strong up moves that initiate new uptrends in stocks. So it's really an exciting market, but you have to find a way of isolating those stocks that are making the kinds of setups that enable you to get in and make a nice day trade or a nice 3 to 4 day swing trade. One of the tools I use among several is a site called FinViz. Now, I do also use stockcharts.com to do some scanning, and I use the Trend Traders Toolkit that is put out by Metastock. But FinViz is a free service that anyone can use, and I'll show you just a couple of ways that I put together some scans or screens to isolate stocks that are making strong moves. One of the things I like to do, I highlight go to the screening page, and under the Signal tab, I click on Top Gainers. That gives me the best stocks that are trading on the day from yesterday's close to today's current today's current price. We're actually in the middle of the trading day here, getting toward the end of Friday's trading. And we have a list right now of 129 stocks that are right at the very top of the strong up moves during the day. I want to add a couple more filters on to that one filter just to weed out any stocks that I'm not necessarily interested in. I want to see stocks that are trading, let's say, over $3 per share. That whittles my list down to 87 stocks. I would like my stocks to have an average volume of over 100,000 shares, which whittles the number down to 66. And I want to make sure that today's volume is well above average, let's say 50% above average, and that gets me down to 38 stocks. That's a pretty good list. I like anything under 50 or so as a good eyeball list, a watch list to take a look at a number of charts. But if you wanted to, you could also add on a few fundamental filters, such as something like a positive or a profitable PE ratio to make sure your company is indeed profitable. You can add on EPS growth expected next year to be positive, things like that. But I'm not going to worry about that just now. I normally do add on some fundamental filters, but for the purposes of this little video, let's go ahead and see what we've got so far. I'm going to click on the snapshot view, which gives me a technical chart as well as some basic fundamental data about the company. And I just simply eyeball these charts until I come up with something that looks quite good. So for example, these two top examples, these are great places to look at day trading. So if you were able to get Phonar and Cadex onto your list, let's say after the first half hour of trading around 10 o'clock in the morning, you certainly would have had them on the list. You probably would have seen Cadex already trading well above 7. That's where it opened. But you would have also seen Phonar trading below its open of 14. This little tail down here indicates that after the open, it trailed down, pulled into a little pivot spot as it was trying to close in that gap. And right there near the lows would have been an optimal place to put on your your day trade. You would enter somewhere near the lows after you see maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minute green candles. You'd put your stop, good 10 cents or so below the low of the day, and then you would just let that ride until the close. And you'd have a nice, gosh, $2.50 trade right there. That is awesome. Awesome stuff on a $14 stock. Pranair, here's another one. If you had caught it right at the open, you would have, boy, that really nice move there. This actually looks like a pretty decent setup for a 2 to 3 day swing trade, because we do have the breakout of this consolidation, this triangle consolidation. We've got lots of good bullish volume going on here, both on the current day and a few days back in late October. And I would say that this is looking like it's going to try to test this top up around 650 over the next few trading days, if not a couple of weeks. That might be a nice little swing trade. I would avoid something like this where it's just a little dead cat bounce. Not interested in that. VISN has had a nice thrust up on huge volume, pulled back into the 50-day moving average, and is now moving back up again. And it might be a decent little swing trade there. Yeah, I'm not interested in that one. This one is an interesting one. This has been a strong downtrend channel, MLNX, which is it is normally quite a high trending stock. A lot of positive and bullish stuff going on into it, but for the last several months, in fact, for the most of this year, it's been in a downtrend. But you can see this high bullish, high volume movement here in the latter part of the trend may signal that trend is coming to an end. We do have a breakout of this old intermediate downtrend right here. You could draw a resistance line over those two pivot highs, and you can see we're breaking out of that. And again, nice looking chart for a possible swing trade. If it can break out above about the 4250 level, it should run all the way up into 50. And looking at a few more charts here, let's just look at a couple more. VNDA had a huge up move on earnings, I imagine, on the 14th, and here on the 15th it made an even stronger move above that. So there's another way we can do this. We keep all our other parameters in place, but we put on instead a new 20-day high. And we see we have 78 charts that are making today a new 20-day high with everything else in place. Let's get the volume up around over 2, and let's put our price up above 5, and let's set a beta, which is the measure of volatility, over 1. What does that give us? It gives us 17 charts to look at. So we're going to see a few that were on the previous screen, but this is just a different sort of look. These are charts that are trading up around their highs, and at least over the last 20 trading days, and some of them are making new annual highs, maybe even new all-time highs. Look at that Phonar. Again, that's the one we were talking about before, really a sweet day trade on that one. HMIN had a nice little gap up, and it just kept running throughout the day. That's a nice day trade move right there. IOC is one that we did get on board a few days ago on this big up move. We caught it around 12 noon. It was trading at around $78 per share. It already had quite a strong run, but it consolidated, and then it ran up into the close. We held on to it. We're still holding on to it now, and we're up about $13 per share on that move. So this is a great screen. You're going to come up with a number of amazing setups that you can either day trade or swing trade for a few days. Make sure you always put on a good stop loss and set a target price somewhere near resistance. We're actually looking for IOC to get up around 100, and you're good to go. That's how you do it. All right, everybody have a great weekend. God bless, and we'll see you on the trading floor.